Erik, obviously the guys really turned it on in the third quarter and made the stand there. Was there something strategically you did different? Was a guy just lifting their games to another level?
Yeah, it wasn't anything strategic. It was more just trying to wear on them, do what we do, not let up, just make it tough. We were able to get a couple steals that weren't even really necessarily forced turnovers. That helped. And then we were able to make, quite a few possessions, at least just tough with the contest and get them out of their normal comfort zone. And then we were able to just take it, from there. But before I even get to dissecting the series, we do want to tip our hat off to the Sixer organization. It was a heck of a series, and this series felt like, much like we talked about before, that it was going to feel like 3 or 4 different series unto themselves, and it certainly played out that way. There were definitely different complexions to each game. Injuries, on both sides were a factor, but we were able to stay the course and get a tough win. This is not an easy place to play. It really is not. You can't hear anything in the huddles, but we had great poise tonight, responded to this environment. We have a lot of competitors that love, this kind of challenge, this kind of environment, and we're able to put, together some good collective responses to it.
You always talk to us about how at moments like this, you try to savor the moment, whether it's a #1 seed, whether it's winning your division, whether it's advancing. So right now, just to take stock of the moment, second Eastern Conference Finals in 3 years, 6th in 12 years. What does this chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals again mean and say about this team to this point?
Yeah, I feel like you were in our locker room right now.
You don't haven't let me in a year.
Right. I mean, that's literally what I mentioned to the team. That you do want to acknowledge the steps along the way. This is not easy. We've been doing this now for 27 years. Since Pat came down to South Florida, and I don't know it off the top of my head right now. You guys, you probably do. How many Eastern Conference Finals have you been to? 9. But every single year we've had that goal, to get to the finals and compete for a title. It's not easy in this league, and I wanted everybody in the locker room just to acknowledge that it's not everything, but it is something. It's a long journey. It's a tough journey. You have to commit to something that's bigger than yourselves. And there's, a handful of guys, that have never been to the conference finals. Vic has never been. He's played on a lot of good teams in this league. It's hard to do. And we'll be able to reflect on that for an evening, take a couple of days off, and then, see what happens on Sunday.
Well, we talked a lot about Jimmy the last few days, but why do you think he is so good at moving down big games?
Jimmy is a great competitor. I think he's one of the ultimate competitors in this profession. So I think a lot of things get lost in translation. I think, as this league sometimes gets younger, I think it ends up being about some things that are not about winning. He competes on both ends. He is an extremely efficient offensive player. And when his only focus is just about driving a team to win, all the other things just, are irrelevant. That a lot of players and teams get caught up in. He's not caught up in any of that stuff. It's just about doing whatever it takes to win the game. So he gets incredibly desperate, in close games, or when he sees the light at the end of the tunnel to close out a team. He's not going to leave it to chance. And you saw it tonight. He was brilliant all series long. He understands that it's just this series, and we got it. The challenges only get tougher, from here. But he saw the opportunity that, hey, we have an opportunity, to end this tonight. He wasn't going to let this go to 7.
We've got a couple of two-way players here. Last year were two-way players. Gabe Vincent fills in for Kyle Lowry, helps you close out the series. Max Strus, the last 2 games, 2 career double-doubles, both in the last 2 games. What does it say about those two and also the way you can find places for guys to be special?
Yeah, those 2 guys have really been developing behind the scenes for a long time. And probably a lot of the NBA fan base hasn't really noticed, even who they are until the playoffs, but they've been in multiple summer leagues with us. Last year, I thought was really pivotal player development for them. And the opportunities they got were meaningful moments with a lot of pressure and expectations that we still wanted to win last year. And we dealt with a lot of COVID and injuries, and, they had some great moments and they had some moments where, they struggled and had to learn from, but they embraced all of it. And then both had terrific summers, this year respectively. And then we had, again, a bunch of unpredictable things, and they were way more ready to produce and impact winning. And that earned the trust of everybody in the locker room. It's not ideal, obviously, having Kyle out, but, having those 20+ games where Gabe was able to fill in, that's probably even more games when he was filling in for either Kyle or Jimmy in the starting lineup. He was gaining a ton of confidence. And the same thing with Max, with all of his opportunities this year. He did everything that, last year and this summer to put him in a position, to be able to take on a bigger role.
Is there an inflection point with that where it finally?
There's not one moment, these are incremental steps, or they're sometimes it's never like linear, like the growth with a young player. I remember, at times, there was criticism of both of them last year, because we're coming off of the bubble run, and then we had injuries and COVID, and they were playing, and sometimes it was really productive, for a young player. And then sometimes, they're like figuring things out. And then all people were talking about was Gabe's shooting percentage, or, things that just did not resonate with me. I saw a player that was changing a position, which is really tough to do, from being a gunslinger, 2-guard, playing, off screens and off the ball, to somebody that we were going to develop into a combo guard, backup point guard, and a defensive irritant. That wasn't, he never was that before. But he embraced it. He poured everything into it, and he's just made a lot of progress. And I think it set him up for the summer. They both had outstanding summers. Gabe with the Nigerian national team, where he can say, for one time, against the USA team, he was the best player on the floor. That's pretty incredible. And then Max was sensational during our summer league this year. So they both came into training camp with a lot of confidence and also a lot of experience. They both played, over 50 games and over 1,000 minutes last year. And they're not minutes for young players of just go out there and play. There was like crazy expectations, veterans yelling at you if you're not doing what you want to do. You got to learn by fire, and they both did.
Right. Is there something we see before a game like tonight from Jimmy where you just kind of know that a performance like this is coming?
No, well, yeah, I've had enough playoff games with him, kind of what Nick was saying, like if he sees the light at the end of the tunnel, this can end. Like, when I say he's one of the ultimate competitors, I mean that. It's about winning to him. It's not about the stats. He could have done the same thing, with 13 assists and 17 points if that's what was required tonight. But it's about going for the win. It's not going for stats. He's not thinking about anything else other than getting this team to win. And you can have great clarity and empty all the clutter in your mind if you're just playing to win. And that's what he does as well as anybody in this league.
Still haven't shot well in this building.
I know. Glad we don't have to continue to play here.
Why were you able to sort of overcome that? And I think 62 points in the paint.
Yeah, I think what this team has shown over the course of the year is that we can find different solutions to win. And that's what you need in the playoffs. We've been able to win defensive games. We've been able to win with guys out. We've been able to win with different starting lineups, different rotations. We've been able to win with 3-ball. We did that for 6 weeks this season. I think all those experiences helped us prepare for the playoffs because it's anything goes. You have to do whatever is necessary. I wouldn't necessarily script that every single year, to have this wild swing of guys in and out of the lineup. But that's also the world we've been in for, 2 years with COVID. For us, it helped us in that regard.
You have at least a couple days off. You might not play until Tuesday. What would that extra time off do for Kyle? How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I don't have any feeling more than I had in shoot around today. I know what he'll say. I need a couple of days to digest that and have real coherent conversations with the training staff, not him. I know how he is in this environment. He's built for this. We'll just have to see. I mean, the extra days, always help. Okay.
One more. Maddox.
Go ahead, Coop.
No
Hey,
thanks,
Spo.
Maddox.
Spo, you've asked a lot of these guys defensively in this series, just like you have all season. I'm just curious as to what qualities is this group defensively proven to have over the course of this series, over the postseason, that allows them to essentially execute whatever you want them to do, whether it's big or small.
We've built a lot of habits this year. We also have like-minded competitors that really put importance to the defensive side of the floor and competing on both ends. I think that's a big thing. There's a lot of things that we don't have to coach, with Jimmy or PJ, Bam, like the list goes on and on of the veteran guys with experience have seen so many different great players and great teams, and they know how to be disruptive or smart. So they are able to strike that balance between incredible competitiveness and intensity, but also having a stable mind. And then, you go through the battles together and hopefully you get better from it.
Appreciate it.
All
Spo.
right. Thank you.